In Damascus, the clamor of war has largely fallen silent. In its absence, the Assad regime is steadily taking back territory lost over the last 7 years. Indiscriminate bombings and sieges have forced the last pockets of opposition from the capital. Now the Assad regime has set its sights on removing the remaining strongholds of resistance across the country. Of primary concern to the Assad regime is Idlib in the northwest, Daraa in the southwest, and US-controlled Al-Tanf base on Syria's border with Iraq.
This is our land, it's our right, and it's our duty to liberate it. And the Americans should leave. Somehow, they're going to leave.
In a recent interview with Russia's state broadcaster RT, Bashar al-Assad threatened to wage war to expel US troops if dialogue fails. In an upcoming presidential summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin is expected to try to convince the United States to withdraw.
Do not believe any statements that talk about agreements in the south unless you see the United States withdrawing its forces from Tanf base, and it must withdraw its forces from Tanf base. This is Syrian land, and there's no doubt of Syria's sovereignty over it.
The withdrawal of US troops appears to be the crucial caveat to a deal currently being negotiated that would create the conditions for a Syrian regime offensive to retake opposition areas in and around Daraa. Last week, Russia announced that Iranian-backed militias, which have been instrumental in enabling Assad to consolidate territory, would leave the area close to the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights. Israeli and Syrian officials have cast doubt on whether that proposal will be accepted. Israel's recent rocket attacks on Iranian-backed militias there have been aimed at reinforcing its insistence that its security needs must be met before any offensive against the opposition can take place.
The question remains, what are Iranian troops doing 1,600 kilometers away from Iran? We have said it very clearly that we will not tolerate an Iranian military presence in Syria that is capable of and trying to strike Israeli targets and terrorize Israeli civilians.
With so many vested interests among parties foreign and domestic, any deal to remove Iranian-backed forces from southeast Syria could face mixed outcomes. Either the successful avoidance of further military confrontation between Israel and Iran's proxies, or potentially the prelude to an Assad regime offensive against one of the last bastions of Syria's beleaguered revolution. Randolph Nogel, The Newsmakers.